Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the Agentforce Now AMA, the April edition. And yes, we have Ananth here. So let's get started. Let's give it a couple of minutes as well for everyone to join. Let us know in the comments where you guys are joining us from. What are your expectations for today? Definitely, we're going to have a lot of Q&As. And this is one of my favorite and interesting topic as well. All right, let's get started. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. And as you can see, okay, before we go ahead, just a forward looking statement which states please make sure you make your purchasing decisions based on the products that are available today. And if you haven't joined us already on Salesforce Developers Community, please go ahead and join where you can find all the resources. You can attend AMAs like one today, code lives. You can attend hands-on workshops and so much more. There's this whole developer community for you to enable and get started with Salesforce. Moving ahead, yes, this is, we'll have a quick introduction. Let me bring up everyone. 1 minute. Awesome. So we have the team behind Document AI today with us, and today in the stream we'll be talking everything about Document AI. So let's get started with quick round of introduction. Firstly, I'm Akshita Savan, developer advocate at Salesforce. I'm based in London, and I'm excited to be your host today. And we are joined by the Document AI's team, Ananth, Aman, and Harshdeep. So would you like to introduce yourself, Ananth? Hello? Ananth, could you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Awesome. Yes, we can. All right.
Awesome. Hey, my name is Ananth. I am the product owner for Document AI, and I've been involved in this product since the launch. So very excited to meet the community. Looking forward to hearing all the questions.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Aman, would you like to go next?
Hi, hi guys. My name is Aman Agarwal, and I'm one of the senior software engineers in Document AI team, right from the inception. Please feel free to shoot out any engineering questions to me. Thank you.
Awesome. Harshdeep?
Hey everyone, I'm Harshdeep. I work at the Document AI a team since the very beginning. I'm a lead engineer at Salesforce. Looking forward to interacting with you all.
Awesome. Thank you. So today we'll get started with a brief introduction to Document AI. We'll learn from the product experts themselves about Document AI, what exactly it is. They'll also give us a quick demo on the product, and then we'll dive straight into the Q&A. So let's get started with Ananth, who will be sharing his insights and information about the product.
Sure.
Over to you,
Can
Ananth.
you? Thanks, Akshata. So yeah, I don't want to take too much time. This is really the time for us to listen to the community and to all the trailblazers. So I'll keep the intro very short. So all we are trying to do is Document AI is trying to solve one particular problem, right? We have all these amazing data sitting in all these documents, PDFs, images, and they're not actionable because they are hiding in binary data or PDF. All we're trying to do is extract it in a structured way. And I say extract it in structured way, just like the way we see it. When I see the invoice on the left-hand side, I know it is built to a particular user. That user has his phone number. All that, how just like how human eyes is able to make sense of not just the data but also the semantics. That the fact that the plus 123 is a phone number. So that's all Document AI is trying to do, which is to extract structured data from unstructured documents. And guess what? A lot of customers are storing their documents in core as attachments and in CRM, and as well as they are through the power of unstructured data in Data 360, they are getting all this data from the various other sources like S3 or Google Drive. And so that's where I think this product comes in, which is like all this awesome data. How do you make it actionable? And that's basically what Document AI is. I think the team has created some sample demos, so maybe we can quickly go through that.
Absolutely. over to next slide, Ananth. So, Aman, will you be sharing the demo with us? Would you, are you going to be the next one? Awesome. So let me bring our screen up.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'll share a very quick demo of how you can create a document AI configuration today, and we'll look into how we can extract some semantics from the document, which may not be already available in the context. Here on the data cloud screen, you'll always find a tab which is called process content, and you can find us document AI here inside the process content. And to create a new configuration here, either you can choose a source DMO, which is mostly like a S3 object, or a GCS connector from where you want to stream all the files, or you would want to create a non-source DMO configuration, which you can use it to extract information from uh, multiple documents directly from a Flow API integration. So while I click on next, this is a playground experience where we can play around with certain documents, generate a schema, and then eventually we'll go and publish one. I have a similar screen which is already available here. I'll just run it through that. So with me, I have some sample identification documents, an Aadhaar card, a passport, and a PAN card. These are all Indian identification documents. And while I used Aadhaar card, I'll show you what I did. I just added an Aadhaar card here.
And that's from Barack Obama.
Yeah, I noticed
I
Barack
know
Obama has
exactly.
become. When
That
did
was
he get
funny.
our PAN card? It'll be good to get his tax dollars.
For sure.
So just using a sample extraction, I was able to extract a couple of fields for this particular document. And what I did was I used a similar kind of schema to run through different kind of identification documents and extract the information. Now, what you can see in these two different schemas is here it says Aadhaar number, while Aadhaar number may not be available in passport or a PAN card, right? So in that scenario, what I did as a best practice or to ensure that I'm able to extract information from multiple documents, I changed it to identification number. Also, you can go ahead and add some prompt instructions here uh, while editing it. Like this is the identification number from the document.
Actually, you know what,
Identification.
Aman? I have a idea, but why don't you complete this and I'll tell you what I'm thinking.
Sure.
Right.
Okay, so we got the identification number. So the thing is, Aman, one of the questions I keep hearing from our customers is, especially the scenario that you're showing, right, where the three different document types, all of them are entity documents. They contain the name, some information, some identity number, but they don't know what is the document type, right? And I know we are working on some feature to solve it natively, but till then, what can customers do to kind of not only extract the names which you are showing right now, but also find out what is the document type?
Right, that's a very good question, Anand. So exactly. So what we can do is presently you can go ahead and add a new field other than what is available in the document. For example, here I created one field which is called identification document type. Now, I could give a very good prompt to it to identify the document as one of the Indian individual identification documents. And I gave an example to it to compare from, like, for example, PAN card, Aadhaar card, and passport, which was not available in the document. Now, using this particular field, if I go and run it, for example, for a passport here, and I test it out, I could very well classify it as one of the
Oh, I
passport.
see.
And,
So it is able to run, even though this is not there in the document, because we gave a prompt. It'll run. It'll extract the right. This is awesome. And just to, so I think just to make sure people get it, what you're saying, Aman, is that the fields that we are adding in the document AI schema may not just be fields which are there in the document. It can be some constructed concept. It can be a concept like a classification type or an identity type, and that can be purely limited by the prompt that you write. In this particular case, you wrote a, can you show the prompt again? What prompt you wrote for this classification? So it says identify the document as one of the following types. It could be PAN card, Aadhaar, and so you're giving the various possibilities there as a prompt. That's awesome.
right. Uh, Also to add, like we can also go ahead and do the prompting at very different levels. For example, this we are talking about doing the prompting at a very field level. I do have a sample document where I'm generating some transaction values where along with the some parent fields I'm able to extract a table which is of transaction here. So if I want to do some prompting here, I could very well go here and just do the edit and add some prompt here in this particular field for tables as well. Like each of the tables, I could go and add the prompt instructions. Similarly, we have a parent level prompt, which, for example, I would want to add this is the bank statement and uh, extract the transactional information.
So just to be clear, I think what you're saying is this prompt will apply to the whole document, whereas the
Yes,
previous prompts are at the field or the table level.
that's true.
Got it.
Awesome.
Using that
Thank
information, we
you.
could provide more context to the AI.
Awesome. Thanks, Aman. This looks good.
Okay.
Now I'm very excited to see what Harshdeep is going to show us.
Yeah, let's learn from Harshdeep what he has to show and give us some new
Yeah.
updates as well.
Yes. So I'll be covering a scenario for the batch use case. I think which would be a really interesting one. Let me just start the video.
Harshdeep, can you, yeah, full
Yeah.
screen it so that people can see it?
Is it better?
No, you need to full screen it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
this
better.
looks good. So again, we are in Document AI's process content. Okay.
Harshdeep,
It's
you're
screening.
playing a video, or are you going to talk through it?
Are you not able to hear the
We
video?
can't hear your audio, so maybe you can just talk through that content.
Okay, cool. That will work.
That will be great.
Okay, so the idea is let's go through a use case where let's say you have bank statements coming from external sources to let's say your S3 or Google Drive or SharePoint or whatever, and you're a loan processing agent and you have to like figure out whether a particular candidate is a can be provided a loan based on the bank statement details. So we'll be extracting some data from the bank statements uh, and doing some aggregations and analytics on top of it. Uh, and then we'll see how we can tie that back into CRM.
Okay.
Uh, so just uh, we have this contact, and we what we want to do is we want to take this bank statement and gather some insights out using Document AI and then enrich a field in the contact object, which is this financial tier risk. And we'll see how we'll calculate this particular
So
value.
Ashit, just to understand, I think what you're saying is you're starting from a core object. So this is a contact object, but it could be sitting anywhere, right? It could be in Sales Cloud, it could be in Service Cloud, and it has
Correct.
an attachment. And but you have a whole pipeline that you have set up, which will allow, based on the data in the bank statement, you run all kind of data. First, you extract the data from using Document AI. Then you run some kind of risk analysis using prompt, I believe, or transforms, and finally you have this value which is a pre-approved, what is that pre-approved status, which is what is mentioned here, which is the tiering of the user, and this is updated directly in the core object itself. So the starts from the code, it ends in the core in the same contact object, everything happens in the backend. Is that a good summary of what you're going to say?
Yeah, that's the right summary.
Okay.
And
And I know that you're going to share the video and all the content of this, how you made this magic after the session is over.
Yeah, I
So I
think.
think
mm,
folks will be looking forward to that.
yeah, definitely. So we'll start with creating a new document schema config with a source object. Now the source could be anything. It could be attachments or S3 or Google Drive, anything. In this case, I have this UDMO here, um, and I create the document schema config, create the DLOs, the schema, uh, So we want to extract basically two different things: the bank details and the bank transactions, um, which are these details in the statement, and individual transactions. We'll be looking at these transaction descriptions and trying to figure out if we can, build some idea of what this transaction was done for. So I have a pre-created one which ran, and um, it has extracted all the data for these two. Um, so here we can see that these are the bank account details in one DLO, and there's another DLO where we have all the individual transactions extracted from the document. So we have now essentially converted the PDF into DLOs, and we'll see how we can use that along with the other features in Data Cloud. Uh,
Sorry, Harshdeep, quick
Awesome.
question, because we are also running out of time.
Out of time,
What
yeah.
you're saying is that the each file associated with different contacts, they became different rows in what you're calling as DLOs. DLOs are just data lake objects, which are basically tables in Data Cloud. Is that what it
Yep.
is?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, I
Awesome.
think it'll be great. We can share the rest of the video and the showpiece after the session. I know there are a lot of questions
Absolutely.
which are coming up. So Harshdeep, I hope you will
Yes.
share the magic of what you did to the team after the session is over. Is
Yeah,
that okay?
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Harshdeep, Aman, for the demo, and Anand for your insights. But we really have a lot of questions coming in through. So let's take them one by one and we can get started with the questions. So the first one is coming from YouTube by Manish. And Manish is asking that I read that the number of pages the document AI can process is 25. Is that the hard limit? What would be your recommendation to process documentation or pages with 25 over 25 pages? I think this
You
is the
know
most
what?
common question, right?
Yeah, and you know
Because
what, Akshata, the best person to answer this is actually the person who's working on it right now,
wow.
who's Aman. So I let Aman answer this question.
Right.
Aman, yeah.
Today it's a hard limit that we are supporting 25 pages, and that's just the beginning. We are definitely working in the background to ensure that we are supporting up to 100 pages. So that support is going to be live soon. Please watch out for that. So for more than 25 pages, the recommendation is if there is a customer use case, please reach out to us. We could selectively enable it and do those POCs for them
Hmm.
to ensure that it is working very well in advance before we make the upper limits in GA.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So short answer is it's not a hard limit. We are always looking to expand the number of pages, and if and we are going to announce very soon some of those announcements on increased number of pages. But if there's a screaming need for a customer who cannot wait, please reach out to me. We are already a few customers are live on a beta, so I'm happy to include them as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. So coming up with the next one, this is again coming from YouTube, and Royson said that I assume there are no Apex needed in order to make this file upload feature work with the prompts. Rather than I want to know, will there be any changes made at LLM level or reasoning level? So it's a
Uh,
bit tricky. Yeah.
Yeah, let me try to understand this right a little bit. I assume there is no Apex needed in order to make this file upload feature work. Okay, so here is the way I will interpret this question, and Akshita, let me know if this is a uh,
Yeah.
good understanding. So what I'm hearing is the user wants to use the output of document AI as a input to prompt. Let us say prompt builder. He's writing a prompt template in prompt builder, and he wants to reference the documents extraction in that prompt template. And so, if that is the question, if I go with that assumption, then today, unfortunately, you will have to write a little bit of Apex. Okay, not too
Okay.
complicated, something very very simple, placeholder like templatized Apex you need to do. But this is going to go away soon. We are hoping to provide a much more cleaner and no code kind of an approach. But for now, if you're using Data 360 and you're trying to use the output of Document AI in a prompt template, you will have to write a little bit of Apex code. We will, Akshita, I know you'll be sharing that resource at the end, so we
Yes,
will give
we'll
you
be
sample
sharing the
code.
resource.
But just before I move on, just one last 30 seconds. If you really want to use document AI as an invocable action, there is a separate product, new product, which was recently launched. It's called as MuleSoft IDP for Flow, which is built on the
Okay.
same Document AI tech stack. But there you can access the Document AI extraction capabilities as an invocable action, and which case it's zero apex, so you can do that today. But it's a different product that you will have to purchase. It's the same capability, but it's just two different products.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Ananth. Moving over to the next one. So we have this question from LinkedIn where Ashwin asks us, how can we get access to Playground?
Okay, this is a good question. I want to
Yeah.
take it if you don't mind.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so actually, not many people know this, Akshata. In fact, this in
Mm-hmm.
TDX also, I heard some of the people talk, which is shout out to all the people who joined the TDX. Is many people don't know that the playground you don't need any special access. As
Access.
long as
That's
you,
true.
yeah, it's like it's enabled for every product, every org which has data 360,
Data
right?
360.
Data 360 or data cloud. As long as you have a $0, most customers today actually already have data 360 enabled
360.
because it
True.
comes with the agent force for by default. So which means as long as you have agent force or you have data 360, you would already have this capability. You just have to go to the app launcher, search for data cloud, and then there will be a bunch of tabs on the top. You click the tab called process content, which is what Aman was showing earlier, and you have document A already. So there's nothing stopping you from playing around with the playground. So in fact, I would say one action item you can take after this YouTube AMA is just go to your data cloud or in your sandbox, or just go to data cloud, go to process content, start playing around with document AI. It's available for all orgs which
All
has
of them.
database.
Awesome. Thank you, Ananth. Coming up, the next one, it's again from LinkedIn, and Nagendra is asking us, like we are reading data from the document, can we generate a document from data using Salesforce records? That's the other way around. I don't think
Yeah,
so. Yeah. What do you
yeah.
think?
I'm sorry, I'm going to take this again because this is not something we are doing today in
Yep.
Data 360. But I know there are teams, so they are always pushing the boundaries of what we do in Data 360. So there is a initiative that we are working on, which is not yet ready for limelight. So I would not, and I'm not the owner of it, but all I would say is today this is not possible. Definitely not possible as part of Document AI. But there are possibly initiatives you will hear from Data 360 which might allow you to do something like this, but not in the near term, not from document yet.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because that's a totally different use case, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Coming up, the next one, it's again from Royson, and he is asking, yes, another question that's on LLM side on tool perspective. Was there any rules or logic upgraded, I suppose, we can have in Agentforce currently? And did you use front end technologies? So basically he's asking what's working behind the scenes where we can select different models, we can select between OpenAI, Gemini. So he's asking about the logic behind the scenes that we are working on.
Ah, I see. I see.
Yeah.
So I think this question probably maybe Harshdeep, maybe you can take this. The question is, what are the additional logic or what are the any additional rules or anything else we do beyond sending it to Agentforce? If that's the question, that's what I'm assuming.
That's what I'm assuming as well.
Yeah. So
Let us know if it's not that. Yeah. Yes, Harshdeep, sorry.
yes, so we do a few different things, and not just send the document into the LLM. We take care of the schema. We do some validations. We do a bunch of pre-processing, and once we get the data back from the LLM, right, we do some post-processing steps, which help us, cater to different kinds of use cases, and also uh, improve the efficiency of the extraction rather than just doing a single call to the LLM. But that said, the LLM landscape is evolving quickly, and we are also looking at ways to, improve our processing pipeline. It differs model to model. So
Okay.
I'm not sure
Yeah,
if
and
that.
yeah, I think one of the things actually we are hearing is that while everyone likes what they see from Agentforce, right? The demo part of it is really awesome. Like not just Agentforce, any LLMs.
LLMs.
Um, but I think where they also want is consistency and predictability. Like they want consistency of, especially when you're trying to, like the example that you showed, which is a bank approval. You need to be very deterministic about. I know LLMs and determinism don't go together, but I think customers generally want to push in that direction, where they want the power of LLMs, but they want also the determinism of which the use case requires. And I think that's where some of the stuff that Harshdeep talked about is important, which is like post processing, pre processing, a bunch of other things we do. Uh, so yeah.
Absolutely. I have a couple of questions as well because I've worked on Document AI for a long time and this is something I've been meaning to ask. So, we know the document extraction capability works really well, but how do we get to know that? How can we actually trust the data that's been extracted by Document AI? Like, for example, if I'm having a banking maybe invoice or something, and if a wrong amount is calculated or extracted, then I could charge my vendor a hefty amount. So that is something that could go wrong as well. So how do we trust the output? Anyone would like to take it? Harshdeep,
Yeah,
Aman?
I think I can very well take that question. So
Sure.
uh, it's what we're talking about is the improvement in the accuracy, and there's a lot of mathematical data that we're talking about here when we're talking in terms of
Yes.
back treatment. So sometimes LLM hallucinates and they can give us wrong value as well.
Yeah.
One of the ways is to ensure that you add a proper prompt there to ensure that the values are extracted correctly. You can add, like we saw, that you can add some additional prompts where you say that if the confidence score is not correct, or if you see that the accuracy is not at par, you can always add that add an erroneous kind of field which says that, oh, this field is not correctly extracted. Um, Speaking of confidence score, we also add the confidence score there to each fields, which can help to understand that if LLM is able to extract that information correctly or not. So confidence score is one thing that definitely helps. Adding a new
Okay.
prompts where we can ensure that if the extraction is not accurate, LLM makes sure that it gives a response where it explicitly highlights that the extracted row is not correct. And then we
Okay.
have human in the loop. We can always use these factors and then go back to the human in the loop to ensure that these rows where the errors are available, like there, we are able to correct them. Because, like Anand mentioned, that determinism doesn't go hand in hand with LLM, so we still expect that accuracy is not 100%. We are the north star for us is to reach that 100%, but somewhere some down the line we have 95%, 98%, or in some documents 90% as well. So we try to
Okay.
make sure that we reach to the north star.
Yeah, we also have some accuracy improvement information from Ananth. So yes, make
So
sure. Yeah, Ananth,
yeah,
you would
I
like
want
to.
to just summarize what Aman said, right? See, if, like we hear about this a lot, and Aman also hears about it a lot, which is like customers say, I know this set of fields are perfect, but this particular field I want a better determinism and accuracy. So most of the time, it falls between one of the three buckets. Okay, first one is the biggest mistake you would do is when you see that auto extraction. So in the UI, one of the things Aman quickly glossed over, we couldn't spend more time, is the schema itself can be determined by the LLM, right? But what it actually outputs is the best guess. See, the LLM does not know your use case, right? It just sees the documents. And so what I would say is always decide what fields you want to add. Don't accept everything that LLM throws at you. So curate
Yep.
the fields and prompts. Almost 80-90% of the cases, we are able to fix the determinism issues with just prompts. Okay. And the
Prompts.
last thing I would say is nothing is perfect. You have to have, that's why we have confidence score. And so if you feel, if it is like a important enough use case that you want perfect thing, then you can use the confidence score to decide whether to use human in the loop or not. And so
Yeah.
it's a combination of all of these. That's basically what I would say.
Eventually, I think we need human in the loop while we're still
Yes,
getting started with all the tools,
correct.
right? Okay, so there is another question that's coming in. So, how can Document AI support sensitive data like SSN numbers?
Yeah.
What do you
Um,
think?
Yeah, I said this is a very important question. We keep hearing this from a lot of our financial services customers. Um, so the thing here is, it does support, and so we can quickly show you a demo. I don't think we'll have time, but you can try this out, right? You can just literally upload a document and write the prompt that says extract the SSN number. It'll work. Now the concern could be, hey, this is like super sensitive information, and I want to know how this data is going to be stored and used and persisted, etc. And
Yep.
so that's where I would say there are two modes that you can use Document AI with. One was what Harshdeep showed, which is like you're using the batch pipeline where you're persisting the extracted data in the DLOs. You saw how Harshdeep was showing the actual extracted data, which is coming as rows. That's one way. But for sensitive situations like this, where you don't want data to be stored even in transit, you can use the transactional API mode where we don't store the data anywhere. In fact, not only inside Data Cloud, even we have contractual obligations with all our model providers. We support a bunch of models. Agentforce supports almost all the state-of-the-art models. We are one of the biggest consumer of tokens in the enterprise ecosystem. And so we have contractual obligations to make sure that none of the data, neither the document nor the extracted data, are persisted. So these are enforced through contract. That's why I think using the Einstein trust layer makes a lot of sense
A lot of
and
sense.
super important for situations like you're extracting sensitive information, healthcare information, financial information, all of this for your peace of mind, transactional API through Document AI using the Einstein trust layer. That's what you should do.
Awesome. Yeah, that actually makes more sense. Moving ahead with the next questions, like we have really a lot of questions to cover.
Oh, okay.
So people are actually interested. So here's another one coming from LinkedIn and from Shane. Are the safeguards enforced at the LLM reasoning level? Do you have any hard control at the execution layer that blocks the state changing actions? So
Great question. Yeah.
we don't, yeah, it's actually a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah. And it also resonates with the previous one where we talked about the security. So it's important. Like we have been talking a lot about trust layer, but this is something we have to answer. So who would like to take it up?
I would take a dive at it. So
Awesome.
definitely the safeguards are available, like Ananth mentioned. Einstein trust layer is there, and all the data that we are sending to LLM currently, it's never been persisted. And moreover, there are ways where masking is also available, where even if we are sending those requests to LLM, internally it makes sure that the sensitive information is getting masked. Coming back to the hard controls that we have, for state changing actions, like if there is sensitive data, like some how do I say, some not safe for work kind of information. So all that is very well guarded. We have temperatures that take care of it, and we control it ourselves. And even at the Einstein trust layer, it is made sure that uh, such kind of content is not even able to be extracted information from. So yes, definitely the safeguards are enforced.
Okay.
Hey, I want to add just one thing to what Aman said, which is,
Sure.
see, there are two kinds of controls, right? One is at the LLM layer in terms of what token manipulation happens, and that all the stuff that he said makes a lot of sense, right? Filtering, masking, etc. There are some limitations, but that's a different point. But I think the there could be another layer of hard control, which is, hey, what do you do as a result of this document AI? Because see, there's a genuine concern and uncertainty about, hey, I don't want random stuff happening in my org, right? So that's where I want to reiterate. Document AI is very scope of what we do is
So,
very, very limited to document is coming in and the structured data is coming out. That's all it is, right? Now, what you do with the structured data, it's completely up to you. And we already saw a bunch of examples, right? In Aman's case, it was just showing it in the UI. User could review it. That's one way. What Harshdeep showed is a completely different way. Harshdeep was saying, hey, I will not only extract the data, I will persist it in DLO, then I will run some computes. Then I will finally classify the user as one of the 4 tiers and then update it in the CRM. So, but it's all up to us to decide what you want to do. And where do
yep.
you want human controls? Where do you want deterministic logic? Where do you want automatic thing? All of that is up to us. And so that's where I want to kind of reiterate that document AI by itself does not do any state change. It just does a simple transformation of a PDF or a binary image to a JSON object. It's a new object. And how to do what you do with that JSON object is really up to you and the trailblazers and developers. You can decide what you want to do based on users.
Awesome, thank you. We have a lot of questions around the AI model. So this is the one that's coming from Fernando and also another one from Manish. So they have been asking if you're planning to update our model. Currently, it's supporting OpenAI, Gemini. So can we have more LLM models? Is what everyone is asking.
Yeah, I can take that up.
Yes.
So yes, we're kind of due on the model upgrade, and we are actively thinking about upgrading to the latest GPT and Gemini models, and also possibly adding Claude as well. That's also a much
Wow.
requested model. Um, yeah, and we're also thrilled that adding these would improve the accuracy that the product provides, as there are new improvements. And will
Current.
also help us increase the limits. So the page limits and the file size limits could also be changed with these. So yeah, we're
Basically,
actually,
better
yeah,
processing, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Are
And
you
also
guys
want to shout
partic?
out,
Sorry.
sorry, Akshata, just quick thing. I want to also shout out to, there's a bunch of work that the team does before we
Wow.
enable a model, right? It's not just turning it on and a switch. There's a whole lot of, because see, we already Document AI is processing a lot of workloads for a lot of customers. Now we want to make sure that, see, we don't enable models just because they are available. We are going after a particular use case and we want to see those numbers improve, at least improve, right? And we need also different capabilities. We need confidence score, we need the prompting to work, and all those other capabilities. So I think I just want to call out that there's a whole lot of evaluation and benchmarking that the team does after the model is available publicly, and also like Einstein trust layer. At the end of the day, trust is why people come to Salesforce, and we want to make sure that all those checks and balances are completed. It's onboarded to trust layer, and then that's when and we see a qualitative improvement in the accuracy. And so that's all the work that is going on. But yeah, I think this is one of the most common questions, just like when do we see Claude? We are already hearing it from a lot of our
Yeah.
customers.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for answering that. Before going on to the next one, a quick reminder that we have a couple of polls that you can help us answer and that will help us map with the product roadmap as well. Moving ahead with the next one. So Shravan is asking if how document AI is different from intelligent context and when do we prefer one over the other. Uh, Ananth, Aman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can take it. So
Awesome.
intelligent context is, think of it as, um, you want to ground the agent on the data, unstructured data, right? And it's not an opinionated extraction, is what I would put it. See, document AI is opinionated. Why I'm saying it's opinionated is because you know exactly that I want to extract the invoice number or the SSN number or the passport number or the invoice or the amount, the transaction amount. So you know what is needed for your use case. So then you can define those schema and the prompts, and then you get those data in a structured way, in a consistent way. But intelligent context is a different use case. Intelligent context is like you don't know what the customer question is going to ask, right? And you don't know which part of the, let's say, the help article or the knowledge base article that you need to ground that answer on. So intelligent context is more like I want to make sure that I chunk it and index it in the right way so that any kind of question I get, I'm able to answer it the right way. So it's unopinionated. It's like it should handle any kind of questions. And there's another lens to look at this, which is document AI data is mostly transaction oriented data, which will differ by every customer. So if you see the invoice that you have for user X is different for user Y, passport number, bank statement, all of these are different for different transactions and users. Whereas intelligent context is like enterprise documents, which are common for the whole users. Right? There's only one help article for our own product, right? That help
Yep.
article will not change per user, right? So that's another way to look at it. But fundamentally, document AI is for automation use case, that is very opinionated. Intelligent context is for accuracy, is for grounding use case, which is more for enterprise specific data.
Okay. Awesome. I just have a couple of questions. Like, suppose if there is a handwritten, like a prescription coming in from doctor, then will Document AI able to scan it or some handwritten note that needs to be scanned? What do you think, Aman, Harshdeep?
No, right. Those scanned documents today, but it's one of the challenging documents that we are processing right now.
Hmm.
Uh, for certain use cases, we tried also doing the OCRs to extract very meaningful
Yes, because
information out of documents before we go and process it into LLM. However, today the LLMs are also evaluating in a way that they can very well accept that document right away, and it can internally try to do the OCR and using the vision models to extract that information. So that's very case to case basis. Right now, we are relying on LLM mostly, but we are parallelly working on to make sure that the context is also extracted using some OCR vision models
OCR,
before
okay.
we use these LLMs
So
to
basically,
extract.
pre-processing before sending it over to document. That
Yeah,
makes more
I would
sense.
say right now the short answer I would say is yes with some caveats, right? The short answer is yes because already we are seeing customers going live. In fact, we literally have the same use case that you mentioned, Akshata, which is doctor prescription or a doctor's lab report, and then
Yeah,
so doctor lab report is even another level, right? Because it's first
yeah,
is handwritten, second
handwritten.
is a scanned copy, and it's numerical data. It's not just
Yes,
text where you can infer that, hey, this is the word you're trying to write. So we have seen it work, but as Aman said, there are caveats because it depends on the quality of the handwriting, depends on the quality of the scan. But if those are handled mostly, then we have seen very good success. We request the user, whoever asked, I think you asked the question, so you should try it literally
yeah,
with the playground and see if it works. And at the end of the day, you are the final judge. If the accuracy is within your benchmark, you should go ahead and use it. That's what I would say. Yeah,
definitely. I can always take into consideration the confidence score. So if it is exceeding my confidence value, the
absolutely.
one that I've set, then I can go ahead with it.
Yep.
Awesome. On the same note, we have another question that's coming in from Shravan. So, are there any limits on the document size that can be processed by Document AI? Yes, there are limits, and I think all the information is constantly updated on the Document AI's documentation page. Would
Yep.
you like to share any further information, Anand?
Right now, I believe it's 10 MB is the size we have, and we are going to improve this. As I mentioned already, we are all the team is already working on increasing it, but I don't want to tell the number how much we are going. But suffice to say, see, 10 MB is actually pretty big for most files, and so most of the time it's not the number of MBs which is an limit. The number of pages is what we are hearing more vocally from customers. So I think suffice to say that both of these are something that we are working on. You should only see the numbers go up from here.
Awesome. Absolutely, yeah. Because we have a lot coming on, and there's a lot going on the roadmap as well.
Yep.
So, talking about the roadmap and a lot of exciting things, we have integrations for Document AI and Agentforce as well. Right? So, we have a question around that. Maybe we can take that so we can bring in the Document AI plus Agentforce conversation. So, Anupam here is asking, like, is there a way to choose the model and how does it make a difference? Can you please explain? We can achieve this using prompts and Agentforce too, right? Uh, Choosing a model from, I mean, anyone would like to take it up?
Yeah, I
Anand,
can.
Aman,
I can.
Harshdeep, yes. Awesome.
Yeah. So the different models have different characteristics. So if you see, as we were talking about the previous question about handwritten, right? Each model has its own strengths. So I would say Gemini handles handwritten documents much better than GPT, but then
Yeah.
GPT might have its own strengths, right? So you have
True.
to try your documents in the playground, see which model works best for you and your schema. But there's no wrong or right answer here, right? Whatever works for you is what you should use. And I think yes, you can do this with agent force and prompts, but document AI also provides you extra features, things like you know the agent may sometimes hallucinate and give you a data which is not in JSON format or it is malformed, right? We have guardrails in place to avoid that. The confidence score is one other thing that we do. So the all the pre-processing and post-processing and the guardrails that we have built in, uh, you can reliably use this, or even the batch and transactional APIs. Versus it is like you're prompting an LLM and the LLM might go sideways and may not respect your prompts, or return you data that's not in the right format. right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
I
that's
would
the
just add one thing to this, right? Because it's a common question.
Yeah.
Um, See, the thing is, we are on Agentforce. Okay, we are on top of Agentforce. All we are doing, all the Document AI does, is that it provides that harness so that we are able to capture the use case of what the user is trying to achieve. Right. That's all it's doing. We are still using the power of LLM. We're still using the power of Agentforce, but we are letting the user define the use case. So whatever you see in the playground, the prompts and the fields and all that, what is it? It's basically putting the guardrails on the LLM with the information about the use case. Instead of this, there is a big difference between just throwing a document and saying all the best and putting all this use context. Basically, all this talk about context engineering, right? That's all it is doing. Document AI, you can think of it as a harness to create the context engineering so that we understand the context, the use case, and then add it as additional guardrail to the LLM, which obviously results in consistency. So that's the key thing, right?
Yep.
Consistency of a output. It's not about making one shiny demo work. It is making sure that thousands of transactions happen consistently. And one other last point I would say, Akshata, is
Yep.
see, there are many cases. LLMs are also costly, right? It takes time
Yep.
and it costs you tokens. Many times you want to process the document once, save the results, and process and use it multiple times.
Multiple
And so
times.
that data cloud provides all those capabilities so that once you process it, and then you can use multiple transforms, multiple CIs can work out of it. All that
CIs.
additional capability we provide. Yeah.
No. For keeping up on the same topic, there is another question around tokens and flex credit. So, is there a way we can see how many tokens or how many flex credit document AI is consuming on the request, or how do we get an insight of the tokens consumed? Yes, Aman,
I
I can
just
see you smiling.
Yeah,
Do you want to take
I'll
it
tell
up?
you one thing. No, I'll tell you one thing, Akshata. I
Yes.
just saw one. I want to just read out this comment. So there's a very good comment. I saw it in the YouTube, which is this is like analogy is whatever this is about the previous question, right? What is the agent force and document AI? The way to think about it is think about Claude and Claude Code. See,
Okay.
Claude Code uses Claude, right? It doesn't do any other model. All Claude Code does is it creates the harness, it creates the context engineering. So I think that whoever commented is a spot on analogy, which is document AI is to agent force, is Claude Code is to Claude. Sorry,
Wow.
Aman, I know you can go to this question, but I thought
I
it was
could
a
see the
very,
excitement.
very
No,
interesting analogy,
I would
right?
say, Anand, that's the question for you because we know that these are the capabilities we want to add for all the customers to go and evaluate these flex credits consumptions as well. But
Yeah.
I would like to call it that Anand has come up with a solution which is very well working for internal users, the SEs and technical architects, where we can very well use that software to analyze the documents and see how much flex credits are getting consumed. But I believe,
So
Anant, is that going to be a roadmap? Can we use
yeah,
that
so
in our
the way to
Wow.
interpret Aman's question is, hey, this is a prioritization problem. Please talk to the PM. So anyway, I think we are sharing this feedback. I think customers want an ability to have the number of credits consumed. So we don't have that. So I'll take that blame. We will try to fix this in the future. But the short answer is there is a link that we will be sharing very soon, which
Yep.
will document how the tokens are consumed and how the pricing happens. Very short answer is when you use Document AI in Data 360, two meters run. Okay. The first meter is about the meter that runs in Data 360, which is purely based on the number of MBs that you are sending or number of the size of the file. The second meter which runs is at the LLM level, which is based on the number of token size in the document, right? The document could be very big, but it could have less number of or vice versa. So these are the two meters which one is per MB, other one is per token, and there are some nuances because different models can compute the tokens in different way, and so there is no right way to size this. But approximately, I would say just to like back of the envelope kind of computation would be like couple of cents per page is what I would say, Akshata. 6 to 7 to
Six to
10
seven.
cents per page is what we have generally seen, not more than that. It's usually less than that. But of course, the actual number will be based on the actual file and the number of tokens
Yep.
and how to show that in the UI. We'll take that as a feedback and try to do this.
That's so cool that we are deciding the roadmap here. We are just,
Yeah,
yeah, we're planning the roadmap here. What,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So moving ahead with the next one. So here is a question from Shane. If a document triggered action is identified as risky but can still execute, do you consider that as governed or just monitored? And following up with the same question, he's also saying that if a system can still execute it when it shouldn't, where is the control actually enforced? So it's a
Okay.
two-part
So
question.
if you can go back to the previous question,
Yes.
Akshita. So just to be very clear, whatever action you create, the document triggered action, is defined by the user, is defined by the customer, right? Again, I want to reiterate what document AI does is very limited. It takes a document, it outputs a JSON, which is a structured output. Now, what you want to do based on that, it's all up to you. You can, like in this particular example, Shane is talking about a document triggered action, which is, I'm just imagining here, right? So you can today write a flow, a record triggered flow, where whenever the user uploads a bank statement, a bunch of computation happens based on the flow, right? And now you decide what happens in the flow, right? Document A is just one of the. Sorry, my power went off. I'll go off camera.
That's all right.
What I'm trying to say is that the
Yes, Anand, we can hear you. Oh, I'm sorry. I think we lost him. Aman, do you want to take it up? Or Harshdeep?
Sure, I'll take a dive at it. From what I could understand, that depends on how you identify it as risky. Is it the data that is coming out of the document? It's not moderated. Is that what we are talking about, or like if you're talking about the content moderation here, then LLM itself, the Einstein trust layer, will take care of it, and those governance, I would say that is very well in place. However, a data which is not accurate enough, for example, if for a document that the data is not accurate enough and we are calling that as a risky thing, then the monitoring will be required, where we add a human in the loop and we make sure that the extracted data is being reviewed before we actually use in the downstream flows.
Okay, yeah. That makes much more sense. I hope you have answered your question, Shane. Moving over to the next one. So here are some questions like if most of the LLMs are not supporting Excel and worksheets. Any plans on adding LLM support to them? This is coming from Nagalingeshwara.
Yes,
Oh, yes,
and
Sorry, you can take it up.
please, Harshit, you can take that question.
yeah, yeah. In fact, we are actually working on this. This is one of the most requested file types that we wanted to add. And LLMs usually don't support Excel. So far, we have not seen any. So that's where we are doing some context engineering, uh, and creating some sort of a workflow where we can extract the data from an Excel in a deterministic way, uh, again using the power of LLM. So we are also targeting to support complex Excel documents, where there are multiple tables and all. And look forward to it. This support is coming soon.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. And moving on to the next one. Actually, I also have a few questions, but yeah, let's take this one. So here is one coming from Shravan again. We can get the structured output from prompt template, which can be used to perform DML. Which I'm not sure perform DMLs. Uh, but when we go from document, when should I go for document AI if we process the document without data 360 and flex credit consumption? Anyone wants to take it up?
Right.
We
I
also have Anand joining again. Yeah, hopefully he'll be back soon. But yeah, meanwhile we
Right.
can take it up.
I think, like Anand mentioned, it's not that we cannot get the output from the prompt template as well. In fact, we recently are evaluating a customer use case where they were using prompt templates while they were not getting the consistent responses, and their use case was more like how single, for example, there was a invoice documents which was coming from many different customers, but the context, underlying context was very much same, but customer would still would want to extract the information. That's where the context that we add to the document AI for those fields, the structured fields that we add, that ensures that we get a consistent response than the prompt templates. We have tried with the prompt templates. You can go and try it consistently. If the use case works there, I mean, we would definitely would want to know what they're doing. But from document AI point of view, what we make sure that the hardening is there, the post processing and the pre processing make sure that the context is shared amongst different documents which may not have structure information as accurate as the JSON schema, but semantically they are very same. So even when they are semantically same, we are able to extract the information out of them consistently. The consistently is the key that we want to add.
Okay. Here is one question that I have, Aman, Ananth, Harshdeep. So, since I mean, I'm based in the UK and we have strict GDPR rules over here. So, how can I ensure if I have a customer? I mean, how can I ensure that the data is not leaving the country or it's residing in the? I mean, it's following the country specific rule. It could be any country, USA, Australia, or particular country, and as per their GDPR rules or as per their regional rules. How do we ensure that? Is there a possibility?
Right. Agentforce, like we all the models that we are supporting currently, they
Mm-hmm.
support the residency. The information is available on the Agentforce help channel where we can check for those models wherever they are available, and the request whenever made from the document AI, they are served from the nearest data centers only. So we ensure that in fact, the models itself, they ensure that the data residency is there. For example, if you are in sitting in London, so LLMs make sure that the uh, call is going to the data center which is nearest to you, and it ensures those GDPR rules are followed.
Awesome.
All these
Thank you.
details are available on the help channel. If you can share the resources.
Awesome. Thank you so much for, yes, definitely we have some resources. So I'll share the QR code with you all over here. It's a small one, but hopefully it pops up. I'll keep that on for the rest of the session. And yes, now that we are moving ahead with the towards the end of the sessions, we have almost taken up all our questions. But here is the CTA for you guys, for you to go ahead. So register for our upcoming Agentforce Now events. Similar to Agentforce Now AMA, we have Agentforce Now workshops, Code Live, where you get hands-on experience, where you get access to all the resources. So you can scan the QR code that's over here and make sure to attend them, get the most of it. Okay. Moving ahead, if you haven't all done already, please make sure you join the Salesforce developer community. You can follow the link here where you will get access to similar such resources, all the information, Q&As, feed, community, everything basically at one place. Moving ahead, thank you again for joining us. The stream will be available for you all on the Salesforce developer community channels where you can find all the resources, access the AMAs, code lives, and everything from the past, and attend more such similar sessions. And before leaving, I would just like to thank the PM, the team, for being here today. And just give me a minute. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So thank you so much for joining us and being with here today, and also Christy, who's been helping us out in the comments. Thank you again. And if there are any other further questions, you all can directly reach out to Ananth and the team. We also have shared in the resources the Trailhead post in which we have added all the links, and in future as well, we'll keep updating the same informations. I hope we have covered all your questions, but if there's anything that we haven't covered, let us know in the comments or maybe in the Trailhead link, and we'll get back to you. Thank you so much, guys. Let me know if you have anything to add as a last message before we leave.
No, I think this was awesome. Thank you for organizing this, and lovely to hear all the questions and use cases.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, audience. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you, everyone. Bye.